Texas and unleashed a sniper rampage on the campus in which he killed, during about a 90-minute period, killed many students and wounded many others. And that resonates with me because we went to see my uncle in San Antonio, and in order to get there, we passed through Austin. And my mom and my grandmother talked about what had happened and about the tower. We passed by the tower there at the University of Texas.
Three anecdotal accounts from Austin from the Charles Whitman sniping rampage. One is from a professor friend of mine, Charles Wukosh, who was on Guadalupe Street when the shooting rang out, and he was near a cleaner's next to a cleaner's, standing in front of it, and the plate glass window behind him shattered from one of the rifle shots, so he ducked down beside a car for cover and remained there behind the vehicle until the shooting rampage was over, until the police had killed Charles Whitman. Another anecdote, a cousin of mine who worked and still works as an attorney in Austin, Texas. He had a young fiancée at the time. They later married. Her name was Rita. She worked as a receptionist / secretary at a TV station, which was basically right across the street or a block or two away from the University Tower. And she was there when they took a camera out the back that had the zoom lens and zoomed in on the tower while Whitman was still shooting, was still firing. And the third anecdote has to do with a friend of mine named Mary Umberson, who is a minor feminist writer. She is deceased now. She had a girlfriend from Mississippi who wanted to work in civil rights, wanted to join in on the James Meredith thing and the Martin Luther King marches throughout the South that were going on in civil rights in that summer of '66. And her parents were afraid that if she did that, she'd get hurt. So they advised her against going into these civil rights marches. So instead, she went to the University of Texas, and she ended up being one of the young women who was shot by Whitman. She did, however, survive. She's not one of the fatalities. She was simply one of the wounded. So there's my three anecdotal accounts relating to the Charles Whitman sniper attack in Austin.
Is my wife, of course now my only daughter is only 2 years old, so she doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But my wife was curious. She wanted to see where did he shoot from and what was he looking at and all of that stuff.
Right.
So right across the street from the Capitol building, which you know is nearby.
The Capitol building nearby.
There was a Polynesian restaurant on the upper floor that was the kind of food my wife liked to eat. So I took her there to eat.
Okay.
And of course she is pregnant because Matthew was, or I remember Matthew, but Matthew's mother was born March the 28th. Okay.
Right.
This is like I signed my house in Richardson on the 20th of January on our anniversary.
Right.
And so it's after that date that we go down there.
Right.
But in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And so we went down there, we were going to eat, and so I said, well, I'll take you over there and I'll show you, because I knew exactly all the layout and that pool out there and all that stuff where the kids hid behind the rocks and all that nonsense.
Right.
Well, they shot at some of these kids that were down there by this little kind of a moat area that had water and stuff in it. And he had actually shot at people that were hid behind these rocks.
Oh, okay.
So these rocks, some of them still had the dents in them or the evidence where the bullet had struck that ricochet. And then you found places where it had hit the curbing, like the curbing right there. And you could see the dent where that bullet hole had struck. And of course they tried to collect the fragments of all the bullets as well.
Right.
But we're talking about years after that.
Yep.
You have to go look at the time frame. What I'm telling you occurred in February of 1967.
Just a few months after his rampage in August.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was still very fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't remember exactly when he hit.
Yeah, it was August 1st of 66 when he struck.
And see, I went to Austin in December of
Right.
66.
Yes.
And I sold my house on the 20th of January 67.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife had already flown. She wasn't allowed to drive a car.
Right.
So T.I. flew her down there.
Right. Uh-huh.
And we put her up in a hotel. And then I had the secretary, actually not the secretary, but the wife of my boss. I asked her and gave her my credit card number and everything. I said, I want her the biggest bouquet of pink carnation combination flower mix that they can put together.
Did you ever, along about that time, from people you talked to and dealt with, hear any inside information on what Charles Whitman's motivation was in doing that, or was it because of the brain tumor, or what?
I didn't have anyone that I felt like had inside knowledge.
Okay.
But I will tell you the general drift of what the people understood.
Okay.
The general people thought that he was just mentally off.
Yeah.
And he went and collected in, he was mad over something.
Yeah.
What that something was, I don't know. You have to get that elsewhere. But whatever, and you know, schizophrenic people, which is what he probably was.
Right.
Whatever it takes to trigger them, you never know.
Right.
But once he was triggered, his object was to kill people,
Right.
non-discriminatory.
Just indiscriminately, yeah.
He didn't go up there, you know, because he was trying to kill teachers.
Right.
Anyone he could see to shoot, he shot him.
Right. Right. It's total random targeting.
And understand now, that's a tall building.
Right.
But buddy, with an iron sight and me, I can pick off anybody that's got their head sticking out behind the log or a rock. If
Right.
they just got a couple inches of their head, I'll pick them off. From the distance he was shooting, I can hit a 6-inch bull 100% of the time.
So basically, you're an expert marksman, so to speak.